When you hear the name Bruticus, you most likely think of the G1 Combiner and his other incarnations that share his design and functionality. But they aren't the only ones that use the Bruticus name. Instead, I want to focus on one incarnation who shares almost nothing in common with the others. Robots in Disguise Bruticus couldn't be any more different from his G1 namesake, a singular three-headed Predacon that transforms into a techno-organic Cerberus. The only thing he really shares with his G1 counterpart, besides name, is his lack of intelligence, even with 3 heads. But that doesn't stop either of them from being, well, brutish. Although his lack of intelligence does mean Predacon leader Megatron doesn't trust him to be any more than a guard for his headquarters and dungeons. But that's a job he takes very seriously, and as long as he receives both Autobot prisoners to torment and Energon for his work, he is very much satisfied. While he tends to be overshadowed by his G1 namesake, R.I.D. Bruticus has made some very few brief background appearances in a handful of stories over the years. His first mention was in the tech story Gone Too Far from the Transtech universe, a part of the larger Timelines series. He's only mentioned once, called out by Gut Cruncher during a meeting of his, as he attempted to unite all of the gangs of Axiom Nexus. Years later, a second Bruticus, named Predacon Bruticus, would appear in the Transtech comic Cybertron's Most Wanted. This Bruticus worked for the OZSA, and his only role was to watch over prisoners, as General Optimus Prime had to find the cause of a blackout across Axiom Nexus. 3 additional variants of Bruticus are very briefly mentioned by Vector Prime via his Facebook page. According to a tale Vector Prime heard in Axiom Nexus, one variant became such a threat, most Autobots left Earth to stop him, leaving the super spy changers to protect the planet. The second variant was from a universe in which the Primes and other powerful Cybertronians were the gods of Greek mythology. Mortalus, the god of death in Cybertronian mythology, was Hades, and Bruticus served as his vassal, Cerberus. The last variant was only mentioned to have been extracted from the intruder Empire by the Elite Guard. Beast Wars Uprising had a version of Bruticus, named Cerberus, who appeared only briefly in the tech story Identity Politics. He was the bodyguard of Double Punch, a member of the Builders' Assembly, but the two would be murdered by Gnash Teeth in order to blame the Cospegos for the crime. Bruticus's final appearance takes us to the Japanese side of the franchise, as shown in the eHobby exclusive Transformers Legends spin-off manga Cybertron Convobat. Created by Straxus, he was tasked with hunting down 2 other creations of his, Convobat and Megaligator, ambushing the both of them. Teaming up, Convobat blasted off Bruticus's extra limbs, while Megaligator used his telekinesis powers to control spare Transtectors to attack the monster. The monster knocked the Transtectors away, and even stabbed Megaligator. This was all a distraction so Convobat could slice through Bruticus's 3 heads. As a last-ditch effort, Bruticus would self-destruct in an attempt to take the 2 rogue creations with him, but the 2 survived, as Megaligator used his spare Transtectors to shield them from the explosion. Despite not making any major appearances, Bruticus has received 2 of his own figures in both the Robots in Disguise 2001 and Universe toy lines. His first toy was an original mold in the R.I.D. 2001 toy line, transforming into a techno-organic Cerberus and releasing in the second wave of deluxe class figures. The toy was originally designed for the Beast Machines line as a Maximal, however the line was cut short, and the figure made it far enough into production to be finished and released in time for R.I.D. His second toy was a redeco of the Ultra-class Scourge toy from Transformers Cybertron, releasing in the 4th wave of the Universe toy line in 2008. While not a toy, Bruticus did receive one more piece of merchandise, a trading card from the eHobby exclusive Transformers Character Card series in 2023. The holographic card came in a 2-pack with the G1 Pretender Iguanus, alongside containing both of the characters' profiles and tech specs. I do want to make one quick distinction. While R.I.D. Bruticus didn't appear in R.I.D., a combiner that resembles G1 Bruticus does. This character isn't any version of Bruticus, however. This is instead a whole new character named Ruination, made up of the Commandos in R.I.D., or Baldigus, made up of the Combatrons and Car Robots. If anyone got confused by this, it's completely understandable, as the Commando/Combatrons were designed after the original G1 Combaticons toys. So to put it simply, G1 Bruticus, R.I.D. Bruticus, and R.I.D. Ruination are all separate characters, with only a few similarities shared between the 3. I originally wanted to call this video The Forgotten Bruticus, but I felt it would have been an injustice to this version of the character. He may not be as recognizable as his other incarnations, but he isn't forgotten, especially with the brief but notable appearances he's made over the years. Although it most likely won't happen, I hope we do get a new figure of him at some point in the future, alongside other RID 2001 characters. Age of the Primes is giving us a new G1-style Bruticus, so maybe a new Ruination is in order too, and I'm still hoping for an RID Megatron, since we just got a new Omega Prime. Hell, I'd even take RID Bruticus if he was a retool of the upcoming Onyx Prime figure, but no matter what happens next, I'll be looking forward to what will be released in the future.